Thanks for staying with us. So today our topic is concerning women. And the reason why this topic is quite important these days is because over the weekend, people were thinking we're going to be having the very first female governor-elect in our country. But unfortunately, we don't have those results yet. And then it starts the conversation. How many more women do we need to prove a point? How many more women do we need to ensure that we have enough representation in governance? How many more women can we encourage, or how do we begin to start getting women involved? So we're not all just waiting for this one woman to be governor-elect. How do we get more women, especially because many women have grown into corporate Nigeria, especially in banking, in manufacturing companies. We've seen lots of women work their way up the ladder and become directors and become managing directors and being in charge. But in governance and politics, it's somewhat slower. We got some numbers that out of the 423 National Assembly seats declared so far by INEC, only 15 are women. And the numbers haven't really been so far from the last elections either. So what exactly is going on? We've discussed this many times before. But how do we get more women to go up the ladder and grow to the point where they own a ticket? What are your thoughts on this? How do we get more women involved? You can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-3907-6948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweet. So while we're waiting for INEC to declare if we have the first female governor or not, we're hoping between today and tomorrow we'll know for sure. But my question is, why is it taking so long for women to participate in this at this level in politics? We have quite a number of women who have done well in politics, but we don't have enough coming boldly to the table or doing the groundwork to work their way up the ladder. Why do you think this is so?
You know, because we have talked about this many times on different platforms, we've heard women in politics and outside politics give their own view on what this is. For me, I think I would just narrow it down to maybe the way politics is played. Because we see, as you mentioned, in your introduction, that women in the corporate world, they're doing really well. And even have sole proprietors, entrepreneurs who are doing well, and they're taking charge and running companies. So it says to me that there is a way that is run. We've had a couple of politicians who say, well, sometimes these politicians like to meet at odd hours because that's really when they would have time. During the day, they're just doing the work, and then at night they meet. And most women find it uncomfortable, those hours. Then we also have the fact that we've had all the other position, which is maybe as a country or as a society or as a culture, for us, the image for someone who can take the responsibility is the image of a man, a male perspective. We tend to give that image more respect. A woman has to prove herself over and over again. And politicians who have come or government appointees who have failed as women, have made mistakes as women, we are denigrated far worse, than their male counterparts. So I think also as a society, we tend to think a man should be in that position. But I do not think it's because women are not trying enough. I don't think so. I think women are coming out, pushing, breaking all ceilings. But there is a way that we think, so that's the mindset. And also this particular industry we're talking about, politics, there has to be a different way that they play it. Or women need to understand, okay, we see this is how it's played. We understand it, but we are going to play it a different way. I've never been one to support a woman just because she's a woman. She has to, earn whatever office she's running for. And so I've found times when women have asked, oh, we need more representation. We want government, we want it in the constitution to give us a certain, and it would rub me off the wrong way. But, the older you're getting and the more that you're hearing stories. And I'm like, we need to give them that first landing ground is what they're asking. They're not saying forever, but because we already have an ongoing mindset and the way things are, it makes it hard to break through. So show us support, give us a platform that can allow us launch from there. And so, yes, I think government should do better in that.
Let me come to you. Your own general thoughts on women.
Why we don't see
how
lots
we
of
taking so long
participation,
years in
yes.
politics and government.
So I like how Miriam established the issue. She mentioned mindsets, which is largely what is our what is affecting how we see things. And because Nigeria is we're still under patriarchy. No matter how much we do bragado as women, this is still a patriarchal society. And because of that, when it comes to issues of leadership and governance, we always tilt towards the man. Even the women who are supposed to support you because a woman is coming will take a seat back when you make your intention known that you want to vie for this position or this office. Because in their head, you may not be able to, rugged it out the way we expect it to be done, and so they would rather, support the man. But in other industries that has, private businesses, women have been able to break the glass ceilings. They are doing amazing. They are great managers. They are bringing international recognitions home. But we don't see that in politics, and that is what we're talking about this morning. How do we now begin to get a lot of women to participate? I personally have a problem with saying, let us give them, something like a footing. Because if we want to be respected, we must be able to stand up for ourselves and push on as equals if we want to be respected, especially when it comes to politics. So that give them like a soft landing. Women are perceived as vulnerable persons, and the majority of the people will not want a vulnerable person to actually take that mantle of leadership. So we should leave that segment of being in a vulnerable place and step up. Do you have capacity? Can you do the job? Are you willing to come out? Are you able to gather support from women and men across board? So if everybody is paying for, what's it called? Because if you're writing exams, for instance, you're not giving a separate paper. When you're writing JAMB or exams in the university, the female should write this paper and the male should write that paper. We do the same thing. We do the same job. We have the same competencies, right? So when it comes to governance, women must prove that we have the same competencies. If we're going to buy the ticket for 50,000 naira, everybody should buy the ticket for 50,000 naira, and then we're focusing on the competence. Maybe by the time we start doing it that way, we'll have women who really want to be a part of this. Because what I hear, I studied politics, and I know back in school then, they would, persuade you as a woman to come out. They will beg you, they will cajole you, represent us now. We need women here, we need women there. But when everything is made equal, so to speak, we can now have women who would say, I want to run this, I want to be a part of this and get the support that we need. My personal opinion.
Right. Let me come to you, because is it that women, we have natural restrictions? No matter how we really try to have that equal level playing field to come in, I'm going to come in because I earned it. But you get to a point in that career where you have to remember that, okay, I'm also a mother, I'm also this, I'm also that. There are other factors you have to put into play. These are restrictions that some men are able to hand over to you as a woman. You're the wife, hey, you handle that area. So can we really go beyond that? Or should we be realistic that this is our role and just keep it that way?
Politics or generally?
Generally, I mean, in politics also.
Okay, so for me, I feel as much as women have the intellectual capacity as men, like on a equal level, the truth is women have a lot of societal restrictions and norms that are not our choice, but they are just natural. We have to get pregnant, and for many women, pregnancy is a 9 months you are knocked out.
Yeah.
And even a few months after, you have to nurse. So there are seasons in a woman's life that no matter how ambitious she is, she would have to look at the season and prioritize what is important in that season. And that importance might be raising the future generation. But when we bring it into politics, I feel like women need to fight more. I think that we've heard so many times, sit down, just wait for your turn, wait for your turn. But the men that get there fought. And when we look at other places where they've been able to cause change, in the US, having blacks become capable of voting, it was a battle. They fought because it's never going to come to you. Even if they give you 35% affirmative, you will still not be able to get into that position unless you fight. Women would have to fight. And it's not a physical battle. It's a battle of resilience. I'm not going to back down. I am going to contest this election until you allow me to win. Right from inter-party. The biggest challenge I see in Nigerian politics is we have a mass large group of women. The elections in the primary section, primaries within the parties are largely dominated by women, but they are the ones that are now told to vote for this is the person we are going to vote for. We need to now get more women from being in the crowd to aspiring for leadership within the party structure, because what you are, who you are meant to vote for is determined within the party structure. And until you start being in the selection process, you are left to the big daddies that founded the party. Yeah. So we need to get more women founding party, getting into the funding of the party, getting into the intelligence of the structure of the party at that point in time. Then when they want to make decisions, let women be the one controlling the mass.
We need more godmothers.
As a woman, you should be the one in the marketplace that you have 500,000 women that will show up for you.
We have that.
Then you are the one that can.
But let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll talk, because we do have yologers who own numbers. So we're talking about queen makers or king makers, queen king makers, you know,
queen makers.
Yeah. So I mean, there's actually a series on Netflix, Queen Makers. I was about to watch it, but maybe I'll go and watch it now.
That's true too.
See, we need more of them, because the truth is that whether I like it or not, financing is a big part of politics, and we need more women who have money and say, you know, I'm a job. My only thing I'm going to do right now is support a woman from start to finish. But you see, there are women who are scared of getting into politics. They want to do it, but they always feel that they have to choose between family, they have to choose between loved ones. They can't, it's a difficult decision to make. So are we therefore saying that for a woman to go all the way, she must make that choice?
But Morayo, every woman succeeding, every married woman succeeding has the support of the husband. You can't do it alone. And you see them, even the ones in the corporate world, they'll tell you, I have a very good support system, because you really can't do it without a support system. For a woman to succeed, there's a support system. A man can succeed by himself. He can revolt against everything. You see a man that chooses that I'm married, I have children, but this is my career path, or I'm a politician and I'm going to Abuja. I'm in Abuja every month. And that's not seen. They will not even argue with that. How are your children coping? But the truth is, how are his children coping? Because there's a woman. But if a woman is going to House of Assembly, there'll be a case of, so who will take the children? How will you? The women there usually have to have been done with, your children are done with secondary school in the minimum. They're already in the university, so you can employ your schedule. So based on seasons, there are restrictions. But we should now have women who have gone through these seasons who will not be willing to sit there and say, I am fighting for women and I have the money.
Now, let me unpack that a bit. For a woman who says, I will stick to my kids are grown. Now, when you come in at that time, a lot have happened. You've missed quite a bit. So there are men who have already, they are ahead of you. So we need people who are starting from ground up, regardless of family, but they are there, where in every season, every election, you are there in the grass. They see you growing up the ranks, because you can't just show up and say, now my kids are grown. Hello, guys, I'm ready for politics. Yeah. Nobody's going to
you know, that's what I was saying, that the difference is the way politics is played. When we see in corporate organizations where women are married and they have children and they're still succeeding, for corporate bodies that understand and appreciate the competence that the women are bringing in, they always create an atmosphere or an ecosystem that supports her growth. So you find conversations of, oh, we now have daycare centers because we know that our women are having children. Oh, we're extending maternity leave. This shows, that we are interested in this person. And we know that there are other factors that may sort of affect her growth differently from a man's growth. And so we're going to put everything around her in place. But politics does not give you that luxury, does not appreciate the woman in that way. And that's why I'm saying women need to just recognize that this is how it's played, and then maybe build a parallel political system and say, okay, this is what we will do. So for us, in doing this, we understand that women will take time off to have babies, to get married, to do other things. But we'll do it in such a way that even when she's out, she's sort of in, and then we consolidate all our efforts to push women in that way. And so we'll make it a woman for women. We'll appeal to women. You understand our own struggles. So we're appealing to women. But when we say that women should play on the same level, what they call it, level playing field as men, I think we're being unfair. You know, there are these videos that they push out where they show sort of disadvantages some people have when starting off in life. They will show you like maybe African Americans and white Americans, and it shows how it affects your growth. many of them have to start off at a huge disadvantage. And for me, I see that's how it's happening with women. We're already starting off at a disadvantage. So asking for a sort of platform that helps us to launch is not because we're incompetent. It's because we're already started at a disadvantage. We're asking for equity to be able to.
Let me take this call and I'll come to you. Good morning. Oh, Yakub, you're live. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning, Morayo. Good morning, everyone. I had all these says that the woman should not give 35% affirmation in Nigerian politics. Truth must be seen here, Morayo. Without that 35% affirmation, the Nigerian women cannot get the number they needed to. You know why? Why? Because Nigerian politics is beyond what you people are discussing. Because the empowerment does not even allow women to participate enough. That is the truth. Because the men also use women against women in the politics. Yeah. That is the truth. If Nigerian law does not give the Nigerian woman that 35%, okay, I even say it. Since 1999, you can see the number in the House of Representatives and the Senate is dropping. The participation of women are totally, how many of them today? I think that they give 35% affirmation. That very particular position would be dragged up within both women. Women will be expecting women for that position so that we know that at the end of the day, the woman is going to get it. Because we men, we know how to manipulate things. I'm sorry to say that because some certain things that women will never do. Women will do that. So if they don't give them that 35% affirmation.
All right, thank you very much, Yakub. So we've seen other parties, other people, other groups try to form their own parties. We have youth parties, people thinking. So do you think we need a women political party? You know, YPP, I mean, Women Political People's Party, something, you know. And if we even do that, will women join? Do you think that's the way, or we should find a way to infiltrate the current parties? BC?
So I think we can do both, but working with what we have already, we should start by infiltrating the platforms that we already have. And, you know, this conversation just opened my eyes to saying that we cannot do this alone as women. We need the help of men. And I do not think that the Nigerian system is ready for women in politics. Because if they are ready for women in politics, they already understand that we are disadvantaged in some way. And like you mentioned, we're not starting from the beginning. We're not starting from the same level. And so it's the men now who are already in political positions who will now begin to make laws that would give us a soft landing. So you understand that we want a lot of women to get into politics, and we know that you people are mothers, you have children, you have this, you have that, and we, you know, sort of set some things in place. There was a conversation sometime of a leader in, I think, the US or so, who had to take excuse from the Senate to go breastfeed and all of that. We don't have, yes, in Europe, we don't have that here. So they would make that arrangement as a way of saying, we're ready for women to come join us because we know that we need to balance out the energies. Some of the policies that we have today is because the energies are not balanced. A lot of masculine energy, making information, decisions, exactly, decisions that would affect the majority of the feminine energy without having an understanding of what they're doing in the first place. So for us to grow as a country and check all the countries who are doing amazing, you see that there's like almost at par representation of both energies on the panel. So for you to now say we want to move ahead, we recognize that we have women who are doing amazing in different fields. Oh yeah, come from your banks, from your companies and everything, come and join us. We're going to make things a lot more easier for you to be able to do this. That's what we need.
This call, Abosede, we're going to break. Abosede, are you there?
I'm there. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
You know, I want to say something concerning these women in politics that we're saying. Number one, most times women are the ones that actually frustrate the efforts of other women. If you notice, women are more, they do more of the work underground, the grassroots work. You see women going, during this last election, my younger sister is into politics, and I saw the work they put in. At the point, people that came all over from They were, during the governorship election, they came all over. They were retirees. They had registered in Oba, but they had moved down to their houses. They came, and the women on ground, they cooked. They did everything for the older women that came to vote. They cooked for them. They did so much. But the truth is that women don't give themselves the opportunity to strive. Most of the time, they will bye-bye, they will envy, they will do all of that. So because of that petty thing, we don't have the opportunity because men don't have time for search. Men will look quarrel and the next minute they are talking, but women will quarrel, we will not forgive ourselves, all of that.
Thank you, Abosede. It's a narrative
That's
we have
not
to change.
true. Yeah, it's not even a
narrative
fact.
we have to change.
It's a narrative
people,
that has been...
It has really come, people
People have accepted it and it's not a fact.
It's not a fact.
It's not a fact. How many women have you that you called us held in that you have quarreled with and you do not forgive? If you can forgive, that means there are 99% other people that are also forgiving. So don't buy a narrative that doesn't empower you as a woman. Women support women. All of us on this show, we've supported each other on several platforms. And we're not weird. They gathered a group of six women and from different parts of the world, and we are supporting each other, supporting people across several places. Yeah. So we must change that. And please don't even buy it anymore. Throw it away. It is not relevant.
They have used it to disempower. And we must intentionally change. We're still discussing women being empowered, especially into politics. And we've also seen how people have erroneously used religion and culture to stop women from attaining certain positions. Oh, it's not Islamic. Oh, it's not a culturally acceptable thing for a woman to be heading or leading. Because the fact that Benani even got that ticket
alone,
the fact that she got that ticket in itself. So this is not about Benani, but that in itself told us that many of these politicians use religion to stop and to resist or to prevent or discourage women to get into politics. Because this is a woman who has at least gotten the ticket for her party. There are other women who have run so much. I've gotten to the point of that being appointed a deputy governor. They actually run for governors in their office in their various states. So we don't have any barriers. The point I'm trying to make is that we shouldn't allow any barriers stop us. Yes, there's family barrier, but you can still have a support system to help you. So what other barriers do you think have been used to stop women?
I think that we have a systemic barrier in Nigeria against women in politics. And the reason I'm 100% sure about it is because the systems where they took out that barrier, we've seen thriving political participation of women. Rwanda made a conscious decision of it's 50-50, and they have 2/3 of women in their House of Assembly. In Rwanda, more than anywhere else in the world. Why did that happen? There was a system created to make it possible for women to contest and thrive. And they did it. In appointment, 50%. It was a decision. So if we want women, it's not by mouth. We can't fight. And I said earlier that women need to fight. We will fight, but we cannot fight a system that is pressed against us. Our fight is not to fight into position. We should fight the system to open up for us. Women in business had to fight for the business space to open up for them. Yeah. That's why we're now seeing women thriving and realizing that statistics are now showing that women are better managers within the corporate world than even men. Yeah. But it took a long time for women to fight the system to open up for them to show that they can be excellent. It's impossible in Nigerian system to have a breastfeeding mother. Kenya has it. Rwanda has it, Australia has it. Politician, a breastfeeding mother as a politician. It cannot work here because the system now, you cannot even smell, you will not smell the paper. You won't think about it because our system does not even allow women think when they are in that stage of having children, that politics is an option for them. That is a systemic war. So we need to open up that system to allow anybody that has aspiration be able to aspire and get into the position.
Talking about systemic war, I think one of the things that we have done so far, but we need to work on also, is just how women we see ourselves. So I've heard this, and many times it's been proven that nice women who want to be seen as good, women who do not want to, shake the table, ruffle feathers, just never, you never end up being the iconic one. You're not the legend. We don't read about you. We read about Funmilayo Ransome Kuti. Why? Because she was a rebel. So we need to, and then we need to understand that sometimes it will take, breaking barriers is not going to be easy. Breaking barriers will not have the whole world just at your feet and praising you. It means that you're going to have some enemies. It means you're going to hear criticisms, but you're going to push forward in spite of that. And when women push, these barriers, we also need to educate other women that that's not the time to call them out. That's not the time to join forces and say, oh, you're not meant to be doing this. We should join with women that we see forging ahead. We should support them. I'm happy that the last caller, and we're all trying to get a word in to say that we have just received the narrative, we have just accepted a narrative that is really not ours, which is women sabotage each other, we're not always there for each other, as if it's something that only women do. It's something that human beings do.
Yeah.
Betrayers do. It's not a woman thing. In politics, more than anywhere else, who are the ones that we hear betray each other? Who are the ones that we hear backstab each other? When they talk about disloyalty, how many women do they call in politics when they're talking about that? You know, the women are actually the ones that are willing to be loyal to somebody because of the maybe investment that person has done. But men are known to
cross-carpet in seconds.
Apart from cross-carpet, to put their own interest above who their godfather is. They'll tell you, yes, you may have done that, but time has come for me to stand for myself. So women, we are actually, I think sometimes maybe our loyalty even is what brings us down. So it's okay to push, it's okay to be different, it's okay to be seen as a rebel, as long as you're a rebel for a good cause.
Yeah,
so, go ahead.
Okay, I would also like that we start early. You know, it's not okay to just wait till you have done everything. You are almost at the retiring age, and then you say, okay, now it's time to get into politics. We have young people that we are raising, and in schools, they start out with leadership roles, the senior prefect of this, senior prefect of that. Some of them nurse this ambition into the university where they go to the SUG and all of that. What are we doing as parents to encourage these young ladies who want to be in the space of leadership? I was discussing with somebody who is in government, and he was saying that all his life he has always wanted to be a politician, a leader, because he was nurtured in that. His parents had something to do in leadership, and then he was nurtured in that line, and he chose it. He studied it in school. He has his master's degree in that line of leadership, and so that's all he has ever known. He has never worked in corporate Nigeria. He just wants to be a politician. Do we have young women who are nurtured in that way? We need to start having that conversation, not when your child comes back to say, I want to contest in so and so. You say, I beg, it's not for, I did not send you, I don't want them to mislead you, I don't want, so some of these things now make women move away, like it's not for me, let me just find my skill somewhere else, maybe in business and all of that. So we must start early. And, you know, talking about having queens, like godmothers, we need that now. The ideologies of today somehow have been used by the political heads to work against their own gender. So they have the population, they have the women who listen to them, but they should ask themselves, what voice am I giving to this woman? What am I allowing them to do? So what we hear most of the time is, oh yeah, all of you are going to support this person against the agenda. So they may need to start, we may need to start having conversations with them to say, which woman do you think in your clique has the capacity to do this? Are you willing to support this particular person? And we'll just see how it goes from there.
We need to wrap up on this, but I'd like to wrap up with a quote from one of the women we really love, Ndidi Nwuneli. So she said that as you rise in your profession or industry, leave the door open for the other woman to enter. Be the first woman president, CEO, leader of an organization, but never the last one. And I think we can say that to those who have gone ahead of us to ensure they leave the door open so more women can get into politics and achieve even greater heights.